Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, man, what a win. What a win. To be honest, I've got to rewatch the game because I was so nervous. I just paid attention, honestly, to our defensive line, and I was incredibly impressed by the defense. You know, as you see, I think they said they added an addition. They were showing the transformations during the broadcast of the physical, you know, the weight and size that the defensive line gained from last year to this year. You know, I went back to see, did we change strength and conditioning, coach? No, it's the same guy from the research I've made. As far as the strength and conditioning and physicality of this team, what do you think was the biggest factor that you've seen or heard of that the Trojans made this like physical transformation compared to last year? Does that make any sense?
Yeah. It's
what I'm saying.
It's the job of the strength coach is not to decide how big these players are going to be. They get the marching orders from the coaches. They said, you know, probably the defensive coordinator, the head coach. These are the bodies we want, and it's very scientific now. It's not like just like a regular training table kind of situation. These guys are from Rachel Suba, who's the charge of nutrition, and then you have Benny Wiley and his staff that is working on the strength and conditioning aspects of this. And there's no doubt about it. Just seeing the transformations in a number of these players, it's visibly, remarkable for 1 year. What 1 year different makes. It was truly amazing. And there's no doubt it played a big part in this. You know, the coaching, all of it really came together, and all those people were doubting USC. There's one thing that I know is that when USC gets right and has the right head coach, which they do have, and we've had him, Lincoln Riley is going to win a championship here at USC. Get used to it, rest of the world. It's going to happen. This year, maybe. Next year, maybe. Is going to happen. And that's because when USC has the right coach, there's very few teams that can play like USC. That's been proven time and time again, Matt, throughout history. If USC has the right alignment, if the school's involved, if they have the staff. They brought John Robinson back for a second run. J-Rob too to work out because they just didn't have the assistance that you probably needed that came in. They used to haggle Pete Carroll about the weight room. You know, at one point they're like, win and we'll get you. He wins the national championship, and they go, "What do you need a new weight room for? You won without it." It's the small mind thinking sometimes that happens at USC. USC is the only thing usually that can stop USC from winning. That's a fact. I don't care. Call me arrogant, but I'll say that all day long. When USC gets their stuff together, there are very few programs in the country that can stop USC.
Yeah, so in terms of what's different, and obviously Benny Wiley is doing a good job within the workings of this coaching staff and this new operation. But I think one thing that has to be said, and we don't know this for a fact, we're not privy to the deep inner circle conversations that take place, but I would have to think, right? You'd have to think that when D'Anton Lynn interviewed for the defensive coordinator job at USC under Lincoln Riley, that he asked Lincoln, I'm sure this happened in some way, form, or fashion. I'm sure he asked Lincoln, hey, the way you guys were doing strength training in 2023, like, hey, we at UCLA just absolutely manhandled you. We ran over you. Do we get to do this my way? Is the strength and conditioning focus and approach going to be different? And obviously Lincoln Riley gave D'Anton Lynn an answer that Lynn found acceptable, because otherwise Lynn wouldn't have taken the job. Like, Lynn was at UCLA, he was doing a really good job there. Like, no one was putting a gun to his head, but with UCLA not firing Chip Kelly and giving D'Anton Lynn a chance to become head coach, the door was left open. But when Lincoln Riley and D'Anton Lynn had a conversation about the job, I'm sure that D'Anton Lynn insisted, hey, like, I saw what you were all about last year, and it didn't look very strong. It didn't look very robust. Are you going to make changes? Lincoln Riley made changes, and Benny Wiley is executing the plan, as Tim said, that he had the capability to do. So, but really, that kind of explains the transformation that Lincoln Riley had to realize that the way he was doing things wasn't working in alignment with Benny Wiley. So Lincoln Riley changing the approach, that gave Benny Wiley a different roadmap, a roadmap that he's following, and the results are good 1 week in against LSU.
I just honestly think, Matt, I think you might, in my opinion, I think you might be overthinking it. I think it was the fact that you had a speed D with Alex Grinch, had guys dropping. I mean, Corey Foreman, he could have been on the ads for like for weight loss. They would bulk him up. He had to drop 30, 40 pounds. It was a roller coaster ride, and they were making guys smaller. We needed to get bigger, and they were getting smaller. And I don't know how much of that was Lincoln Riley or Benny Wiley. I do believe that was your defensive coordinator saying, these are the body types I need to run for my system. And that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to make it fast and lean and whatever the hell he wanted to do. But then Lincoln Riley and Danton Lynn said, we need to get bigger. And they said, hey, Wiley, get our guys bigger. And he did. This was none of it. It was Benny Wiley saying, this is how big I want anybody. Benny Wiley's that guy. You say, just give me the instruction. Just tell me what you want, and I will give it to you. And Benny Wiley last year gave Grinch what he asked for. This year he's given Danton Lynn what he asked for, and he did a great job. But
I would just make the point.
Absolutely.
Tim, I would just make the point, Tim, that it's up to the head coach to determine the strength training regimen. And to the extent that Grinch had freedom or leverage to determine, how he wanted Benny Wiley to develop guys, that it was Lincoln Riley's choice to allow Grinch that level of freedom. Yeah. And so obviously one thing that's clearly different here this year, Lincoln Riley is hiring a village of guys, a community. He's not putting all of the responsibility in one guy. He's mapping out a full approach, a philosophy, and he's having several guys implement it. So it's not just that Lincoln Riley found a religion about, how bad Alex Grinch was. I think Lincoln Riley learned a lesson about not giving too much autonomy and control to one guy under him. No, you need a collaborative model with different smart football people all participating in decisions so that one guy can't hijack an operation the way Alex Grinch definitely hijacked USC last year.
I just think, Matt, you would agree with me that the Grinch runs a specific type of defense that wants a specific body type.
More finesse, no question.
More finesse, more speed, right? The speed D, right? So that's what I'm saying. He tells Riley, hey, for me to run my system, I need this kind of linebacker. I need this kind of three technique. I need this. This is what I need, And so to that point is he either fires him, right, or he lists the type of body types he wants, and the marching orders go on. That's what we had for last year. And then I think obviously he was let go, and then it immediately changed. So for me, that tells me that it was absolutely Alex Grinch. It wasn't like I think way too much is tried to put on Lincoln. This is Lincoln Riley as a coach, and this is what he thinks of defensive ball. Most good coaches, especially an offensive genius, they're not really sitting back and trying to design the defense. That's why they hire a defensive coordinator for. The mistake probably was hanging on to Grinch as long as he did, for sure. But I don't think this was like Lincoln. Like, I think we should get smaller, and I think we should do this. But I don't think that was all a bunch of Lincoln Riley. And he goes, no, you know what, Matt Entz, we gotta get bigger. Okay, we're getting bigger now. No, I think that he realized he sees what's going on, and he goes, we need a better defense. He went and got Danton Lynn, who stymied USC's offense, and bam, now we got a bigger defense. Hey, Dr. C, great call. Sorry, we got some calls stacking up, and it's not your fault. We're the ones wrapping away, back and forth. Sorry, Matt. Really quickly, one last thing before you go.
Yeah. So just how does that conversation go? Because, Wiley was there before. I know you mentioned that Wiley did, pretty much mold the players as to what he was asked to do. Why does Lynn have that conversation? Hey, I want them to get bigger, stronger. Can I trust Wiley, or can I bring someone? Can I bring the guy who's the strength and conditioning coach from UCLA, or Martinelli from Florida was the strength and conditioning coach of the year from last year? Why can I bring that guy? How does that
Dr. C,
work?
Dr. C, why are we still? Why did you watch Sunday? Did you watch the game Sunday?
Watch Monday, the football game on Monday. You mean?
Did you watch
on Sunday? Yes.
Did you watch the game on Sunday?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why on earth are we talking about the strength and conditioning coach right now? Whatever Benny Wiley's
Just
doing,
because-
let's keep doing it.
I hear you.
Okay.
I was just trying to figure out the logistics of how that happened.
I'm way past that now. I'm looking at, can we get to 10 wins and get to the playoffs? That's really my mindset right now. I guess maybe we could revisit at some point if it becomes an issue. But as of right now, this team just passed the test drive, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll let you go. Hey, do we have the depth defensively to last the Big Ten season?
Yes. We just showed that. I guess probably the most difficult offensive line we're going to see all year.
If injuries don't become a real big problem.
Yeah, and injuries are part of football, and everyone, if anyone's offensive line, unless you're like very few, they're stacked deep. But it's not a position where you can plug people in, really. If you're losing one or two stars in your offensive line, even not how good the youth is behind you, you're generally going to be in a bad spot. So yeah, in order to go on a good run, USC is definitely going to need to stay healthy. Good point, Matt.